Bryan. Thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and check us out at KiesMotorsports.com. In today's video, we're going to show you how easy it is to install the all-new boot mode flex fuel kit in my F80 M3. Now, before we get started with the install, which, spoiler alert, takes 5 whole minutes to install, let's talk about what the benefit of this kit is. We'll talk about some of the unique features, and then we'll show you step-by-step how to install it. Let's start by talking about what this kit enables you to do. So, if you're like me, you like to tune your BMW and you like to make it faster. One of the best ways to do that? Add an ethanol fuel. You can either run full E85, you can run E30, E50, or any mix that you desire. However, you have to have a specialized tune for each of these blends of fuel, which also means that when you're at the fuel pump, you are mixing your 93, you're mixing your E85, and you need to make sure that your mixture is spot on or your car is gonna run funky.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And if you're also like me, that sounds like way too much of a hassle. You want a plug-and-play solution that's going to do all of the hard work for you. Now, another situation is you might live in a state like New Jersey where there's only 4 E85 stations in the entire state. So what does that mean? That means if I'm running a full E85 tune with a full tank of E85, once I want to switch it back to 93, I have to wait until the car is on fumes, get it to the gas station, fill it up with 93, flash the car at the gas pump, and then go. Again, it's just adding extra steps and making it more of a hassle. And that is why this is a total game changer. By adding the boot mode flex fuel kit, it takes all of that guesswork and hassle out of fueling up. It makes it super easy and convenient. Here's what I mean. So say you have your car on 93 octane, it's going to auto calculate the tune for 93. Then you take your car, you fill it up with full E85, it auto calculates the tune, no flashing required. Say you want to run an ethanol blend like E30, E50, E57, whatever you want to do. No matter what blend you put in, it auto calculates the tune to make it completely seamless and extremely easy. So now that we've talked about what makes this a complete game changer, let's talk about what makes it the best on the market. Now, as far as the actual product is concerned, the first thing that I love about it is it's a true flex fuel kit that is fully integrated with the car. You will see this sensor with other products, and oftentimes what's happening is, yes, it's able to display what the ethanol percentage is. However, it's not communicating with your car's computer. So you might have E50 in your tank, your car has no idea, and your tuner will use that number. Where with this, again, whether you're dumping regular premium in, E85 or any mix, as long as you're running boot mode with the appropriate map, this is going to auto calculate your tune. It is a true flex fuel system. Next, it is extremely easy to install, takes about 5 minutes, and as long as you have a 10mm socket, you can install this from home with no prior automotive experience. Now, what we used to have to do before this is we would start at the back fuel pump, for example, on an F80 M3, you run a new fuel line, and then around this area under the car, because again, car's got to be up in the air to do this, you're taking the fuel line off, you're putting the sensor in, and then you're running a new hose that goes up and under your intake manifold. So you're pulling off your charge cooler, you're pulling off your intake manifold, and the next thing you know, you spent 4 to 5 hours installing flex fuel. This installs in about 5 minutes. As you can see, it is 100% plug and play. All the other kits, I was extending wires, I was cutting wires, I was splicing wires. It is a huge hassle. This, super easy. And then, say you want to sell your car, you can pull it out within 5 minutes and there's no evidence that you were ever there. Now, as you guys know, whenever ProTuningFreaks comes out with a product with their name on it, they want to make sure that it is the best of the best. And they think of everything from the XRP custom fuel lines. They made sure that when they designed this 3-piece unit, so there's a piece here, there's a piece here, and there's a piece over here, that it is optimized for fuel flow. There's no obstructions, and you're also going to notice that there's no pressure drop by adding this sensor. You'll also notice on the bottom, there is an 1/8 inch NPT fitting right there, and also right there. Right now it has plugs in, but what these are for is if you ever want to install a pressure sensor, you're gonna have easy access with it. And in the future, boot mode is gonna come out with BM3 Custom ROM V2, which is going to provide support for that so that you can fully integrate that data into your data logs. Now, the reason that this is so important, I'll give you a real life story. Over here, I have my F30 335, and on a lot of BMWs, they don't have a pressure sensor on the low pressure fuel pump. Why would you not have a pressure sensor on a low pressure fuel pump? So basically, my situation with this car, We have 600 wheel horsepower, 700 foot-pound torque, and we were running into a fueling issue, which ended up being the low pressure fuel pump. But because I didn't have a pressure sensor for the low pressure fuel pump, we had no idea what it was, and we had to physically take out pumps, put new ones in. It was a royal pain in the butt. This would have solved that problem in seconds. And the last thing I want to tell you before we get started with the install is that, again, it's fully integrated with the car, complete with steering wheel control. So if you want to check your ethanol level, I'm going to show you how to do that after we install it. There's a little button on the steering wheel, you hold it down, and then your tach is actually going to show you what your ethanol level is in your tank. So without further ado, let's show you how to install it. All right, first thing we're going to do is we need to get down here and we need to get over here. The EKP module sits over here and the low pressure fuel pump sits under here. So to remove this is an F80 M3. Same process if you have an F30, an F32, or many other BMWs. Reach your hand in here, and then simply just pull out like that. There's a little clip up there that holds it in place, and then there's these other little retaining guides. So once you pull that out, put it in a safe place. All right, now that the side bolster is removed, we need to remove the seat portion of your rear seat. If you have your middle seat belt connected, just take your buckle, push that little clip, get that out of the way. If you have heated seats, be careful because there's an extra wire on each side. This car does have heated seats, so I'll show you what to do about that. But basically, you want to grab over here in the middle of where your passenger would be sitting. You pull up, there's a clip, and then do the same thing on the other side. Then you're just going to carefully slide this out, make sure that your seat belts are navigating down. And then once we're done, I'll show you how to put them back in. Then what you want to do is press down on this connection over here and then pull out your wire. And this is for your heated seat. And then again, when you go to reinstall it, you want to just make sure that gets plugged back in. So we've done this side. Let's reach over and do the same thing on the other side. Then you can take your seat and set it in a safe place. Okay, then what we're going to do is we are going to take the gas cap. We're going to take that off. And then this is your EKP module. You're going to, on the larger plug, press down on this connection and slide that out. Now what we're going to do is we are going to start the car. And what that's going to do is it's going to use up the fuel that's in the fuel line. So the system is depressurized for when we need to remove the fuel line. All right, so now what you're going to do is you are going to lift up this little pad here, and this is the top hat, and under this is the low pressure fuel pump. So you will see that there are 5 of these plastic 10mm nuts. You can remove them at this time. Then once you've done that, you can carefully just lift this up, just like that. And then here is our low pressure fuel pump, and this is the line that we are going to disconnect. Now to give us a little bit more room, I'm going to disconnect this plug here. So just press in on this little tab and this is going to lift up just like that. All right, at this time we can disconnect our fuel line. It's always a good idea to have a clean microfiber towel. So basically you're going to take this little clip, slide it back just like that, and then there's a little button on the other side that you press in. You're just gonna pop it off like that. You can see we got a couple drips, but nothing major. If we wouldn't have let the car run, it would have been much worse. All right, so what you can do now is you can locate your wire that looks like this. This is your sensor wire, and it's going to clip into your flex fuel sensor. So what we need to do is we need to get this through here. So what we like to do is we like to pop this little grommet through, just like that. And then if you carefully make a little slit, what you can do is feed this through here, feed it through the slit that you made, and then push that back in, just like that. Then you can take this connection, press it onto the sensor until you hear an audible click, just like that. And this is going to go under here. And then from here, you can take this connection here, Slide it on again until you hear an audible click, just like that. Tug on it, make sure it's good. Then take your OEM fuel line, feed it over here, feed it down until you hear a click, make sure it's good, and then you can snap in the safety retainer. Then we can plug back in our low pressure fuel pump, make sure that our new little wire is out of the way. And then, as you can see, everything is going to sit nice and neat under the passenger seat. Now, before we re-secure all of those little plastic nuts, I am just going to leave this loose because you always want to check for leaks. So once we're done the install, which is literally just one more plug, we are going to start the car again, get all the fuel running through the system, and just double check it to make sure there's no leaks. So then what you are going to do is take the plug that looks like this, and you are going to slide it into the EKP module, and then you take the other connection over here and plug that into your OEM connection. And what this does is it feeds the signal into the CAN bus system of the car, which is going to tell the computer in the car what tune you need to be running. Then from there, I'm going to just put that back there so that it is out of the way. All right, once you've done that, what I want to do is I want to get this little box and I want to mount it up here. So to do that, I picked up some of this heavy duty Velcro. It's, if you live in the States, if you have a toll pass, it's normally what they use on that. Or you can use some 3M tape, or if you want to just put it here and zip tie it, whatever method works best for you. This way, if I ever need to remove it or anything, it's super easy to remove. Reach back here where it's going to be completely out of the way. And that is nice and secure. Then I'm just going to tuck in those wires over there. And then as you can see, I still have plenty of slack for this wire. There's no extra stress. And at this point, the installation of the sensor is completely done. I do just want to start the car and make sure that we have no leaks. Now remember, when you go to start your car for the first time, there's not really much fuel in the line, so it might take a little while to get started, but as you can see, ours started up pretty instantly. Then once again, with everything running, just do an inspection, make sure that there are no leaks. We have no leaks, so we are good to go. So at this time, I'm gonna put this back on and I'm going to re-secure all of those 10mm plastic nuts. All right, so now that the hardware is installed, which as you saw took under 5 minutes to actually install, we need to update our tune with the custom ROM, which is going to give us the ability to use flex fuel. We have on-the-fly map switching, and then we also have rolling anti-lag. So I'm going to take our Kies Wi-Fi dongle. We're gonna plug this in down here. Then I'm gonna put the car in accessory mode, go to my Wi-Fi. We're gonna hit Kies. And that's going to connect us. Then we'll pop over to the boot mode app where you can see OBD is connected. We're going to go to OTS maps, and I am going to download the multi-map stage 1. Go down here where it says get tune. Do you want to get the tune? Of course we do. That's why we're here. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go to my maps over here, and then we're going to go to the bottom to the multi-map stage 1. I'm gonna click that, I'm gonna hit flash. So make sure that your air is off, your lights are off, and your seatbelt is connected. And then we're going to press here to flash now. And first it's going to download the map from the boot mode servers, and then it will apply it to your car. And as you can see, the tune, since we're just switching maps, it is absolutely flying. You are going to get a lot of errors while you're flashing your car. It's completely normal. They go away once everything is done and it clears everything out, but as you can see, real time, super quick. All right, and we have success. We need to turn the ignition off for 5 seconds and then we'll be able to start the car. All right, and then you can start your car up. And as you can see, everything starts flawlessly. All right, Now what I want to do is I want to show you how to check your ethanol levels. Now you can do it with the car off, which is what I'm going to show you, or you can do it with the car running. You can even do it while you're driving. Not an issue at all, but for noise, we're just going to show you how to do it with the car in accessory mode. So hit that start stop button one time, and then what you want to do is you want to use this little toggle switch. You will notice that it goes 2 clicks up and 2 clicks down. What you want to do is press and hold it at 1 click down, and then your tach is going to change. Now what ProTuningFreaks did is they made it so that you can use your tach to identify what your ethanol level is. So basically right now we're at like 1100 RPM. That means that we are at E11. If you had full E85 in your tank, you'd be over here at 8500 RPMs. If you have it at 5000 RPMs, that means you're at an E50 blend. So this way, you can easily check whether you're parked or you're driving, what your ethanol content is. And again, all of that data is going right to the ECU and it's adjusting your tune. Now I have some Ignite Red over there, which is E90, so it's a higher ethanol blend. What I'm going to do is, again, I'll show you here, we're at like 1100 RPM. I'm gonna go throw in maybe 3 gallons or so, and then I'll do the test again, and then you'll be able to see what ethanol level it puts us at. All right, so let's start up the car again. See what we're at. Okay, so as you can see, we're still at like, we're still at like 1100 RPM. It's like right where my idle is. So as you can see, as I hold it, you can see we're going up. Now what I always recommend is as you get fuel, just let the car idle for a little while or just drive gently for the first, you know, couple miles or so, just so that you can get a really good blend and a really good mixture. Because you have to remember, if you go from like E85 to 93 or whatever it may be, you still have a little bit of fuel in your line, and not a tremendous amount, but it's just something to be cautious of. Don't like fill up with E85 after having a full tank of 93 and then just like hammer it out of the gas station. Just like drive slow for a second and then you can go. And then as we can see here, see we're still calculating a little bit. We're just about at E40, which is probably where it's going to end up. Now, as far as the other steering wheel controls are concerned, I do want to show you how to do map switching on the fly, because with this map, it comes with your map 1, which is a map for 91 octane in Arizona, California, and Nevada, because the gas isn't all that great out there. Map 2 is 91, map 3 is 93, which is what I run. And then map 4, I forget what that one is. That is, for this car at least, it's an S55 CS stock power level. So I want to go to map 3. So here's how to do that. So first, what you want to do is on the resume button over here, you want to press and hold that, and then you're going to notice your tach is going to jump. So right now it's on 1, which I don't want. I want to get it to number 3. So I'm going to hit my little up toggle. We're going to take it up to number 3, let it sit for a second, and then once that clears out, we are good to go. And that's how easy it is on the software side. So now that we're done that, I do want to show you some tricks on how to get that rear back seat in, and then we are done. All right, so first things first, you want to take your seat, and you want to take, if you have heated seats, you want to take those wires and plug them back in. Next, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you get all of your seatbelt buckles. Otherwise, your kids are going to freak out. So the best way that I found to do this is to take the seatbelt, you reach it through where it's supposed to go, and then you clip it to the appropriate buckle. So this is that little half buckle. So that's going to make that super easy to pull out. With the middle, you have 2. You have a long one, which is easy because that goes up and just goes through there. And then you have your shorter one, which is a little bit more difficult. And then you have a shorter one on the other side. What I like to do is take the buckle, push it through. What you want to do, I'll show you this. I push it through at kind of an angle like this, and it slides through pretty easy. Okay, And then what you can do is start to feed this up like this. And this part is going to have to go under here, and you're gonna like push it in at an angle, and then it kind of flops into place. But you just gotta make sure that you navigate your buckles through. So that one's good over there. Honestly, this is the hardest part of the whole install. If you can get your seatbelts back, you can do anything. That one looks good, that one looks good. Okay. That's good, that's good, that's good. Over here, pop it back in. Same thing with over here. And that's good. And then for the side bolster, this is super easy. There's this little metal piece right here. It goes into this little pocket. It's probably colored the same color as your car. Then over here, there's another metal pin. This goes over here into this piece, and then the top is going to clip in here. Make sure that you pull your seatbelt out first. Get this all lined up. Make sure that you push in the leather, and then pop that in. And at this point, everything is 100% complete. As you just saw, BootMo's all-new Flex Fuel Kit makes it super simple to run whatever you want, whether it's 93, whether it's E85, or any blend in the middle. It literally installs in 5 minutes. The hardest part of the install is putting the rear back seat in. If you can do that, you can conquer the world. And even the software, the flashing, everything is super easy and literally just takes minutes to do, and will completely wake up your car and make the car so much fun to drive. So before we end the video, I just want to say one other thing. For a complete updated list of compatibility, as it is going to expand as time goes on, be sure to see the links down in the description, where we also have product links to the BootMo Flex Fuel Kit, BootMo licenses, and more. So once again, my name is Brian, that's Zach. Thanks so much for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and check us out at KiesMotorsports.com. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.